maximum concentration. You wave at them, they're waving at you. IMSA MSS Super Modifieds 100 laps at Evans Mills Raceway Park. Starter Mike LeClaire giving Sarah Corcoran the last minute instructions down there when to wave the green flag. Her heart's got to be hammering. Her mother Becky's got that camera high in the air. As we are going to have Sarah Corcoran, John Bowe's granddaughter, turn them loose, and here we go, 100 laps on the past 3/8 mile. Mike McVetta jumps out into the early lead. Kyle Edwards trying to settle into second. Dave Danzer on that outside lane. He looks to be moving up. Jeff Abold as well, stuck out there in the 0-5. And we have a spin over there. It is Lou LeVay in turn number 2. Shoot, he didn't even make 10 laps. The big dog waits for the field to go by. I am guessing we're going to get a complete restart. Great job, Sarah. You look good up there. You come back and flag for us anytime here at Evans Mills Raceway Park. I tell you what, the air that comes off the wings of these cars, I know she felt that on that driver, on that starter stand. So the Oswego Speedway safety crew getting over there in a hurry. They will get Lou LeVay turned around. Lou LeVay's all that he could draw. It looked like he got by 3 or 4 of those cars very early. Mike McVetta jumped out into the early lead. Kyle Edwards settled right into second right away. We'll see what happens on this restart now. White flag is out. So we get to do it all over again. This is the only time you will see them double file unless they've made a procedure change. These cars are so wicked fast, they tend to run double file only on the original start. McVetta, Edwards. How many horsepower is out there on that track right now? 900 times 21, that's a huge number, and they're going to turn them loose right now. Here's the green flag. McVetta again jumps out to the lead. Kyle Edwards settles into second, just like on the last restart. And once again, Dave Danzer on that outside lane, followed by the 61 of Ordway and the 05 of Jeff Abold and the 22 of McVetta. Sending up some sparks as that chassis scrapes the ground. Going into turn number 1, Mike McVetta comes around to lead lap number 2. He is fighting for the track championship for the IMSA MSS cars, and a victory would go a long way to getting that for him. Now they start to string him out a little bit, turning laps in very quickly. McVetta up front, Edwards in second, and Mike Bruce keeping pace in the number 22, Mike Ordway Jr. And then it's Trent Stevens in the number 19, Dave Danzer, still on that outside line, driving in the number 52. McVetta continues to lead. They have now strung him out single file. We'll see what Jeff Abold can do back there in the 05. He's trying to follow Dave Danzer through. Mike McVetta has had it his way. Some pretty tight racing in the back of the field, but nobody running side by side right now, and we got about 94 laps to go here.
Mike McVetta still your pace setter, and Kyle Edwards riding in second. Your points leader, Otto Searley, still riding in that 7th position. Now he looks to the inside of the number 01 of Dan Connors for that 6th position. Otto Searley is hungry. He wants to get up in that top 5 if he can in a hurry. Keep his chances alive for that point championship. Searley looks to the inside of the 01 of Connors. Still can't quite make the move. Our leaders will be in the lap traffic in a matter of a couple laps. Mike McVetta out of turn number 4. He sees the back of the 66 of LeVay Sr. And they're going to start working the lap traffic. This will get interesting here in a quick hurry, folks. 10 laps in and we're already into lap traffic. Mike McVetta starting to pull away now from the 11 of Kyle Edwards. The double deuce of Mike Bruce running strong in that 3rd position. And the 02 of Brandon Bellinger riding 4th, and the 19th of Trent Stevens in that 5th position. With 10 laps to go, Mike McVetta on the tail end of the 66 of Lou LeVay Sr.
Only 10 laps in, and now we are in lap traffic. Mike McVetta darts to the inside, slicing and dicing and dashing, and he gets by the lap car. Mike McVetta safely by. It's going to be a trial here on a 3/8 mile track with this lap traffic. Kyle Edwards now will go to work on the 66 of Lou LeVay Sr. The next car up is John Lasecki driving the number 14. We'll see how long it takes McVetta to get there. Kyle Edwards, a little bit of trouble getting by Lou LeVay Sr. gets by now. And McVetta pulls up onto the lap car of the 28 of Eric Lewis. Lasecki goes around Lewis. McVetta goes around Lewis. And trying to run down the number 14, Mike McVetta in the 22. We got trouble down here in the front stretch. Eric Lewis, who was spitting a lot of sparks. Caution, yellow, yellow, yellow. Both Eric Lewis and Mike Bruce pulling onto the blacktop on the inside of the front stretch. Mike has the green flag in his hand, and we are going to go racing. And once again, Mike McVetta jumps out to the lead. Kyle Edwards right behind him. Trent Stevens getting racy now in the number 19. It was a double file restart, but they have worked it into a single lane very quickly. The 95 of DJ Schulich very close to Mo Lilji going through the turns. And Dave Schulich makes a pass out there. Here comes Trent Stevens. Stevens in the 19 on the high side. And that caution flag was good for Trent Stevens as he moves into the second spot. North Carolina chasing Ohio as the number 11 of Kyle Edwards has to drop back. Look at Pat Abold. Abold has moved from position number 12 all the way up to fourth. Abold in the 05 on the move. Brandon Bellinger on the outside, side by side, going down the straightaway. This is the kind of racing we were hoping we would see here at Evans Mills Raceway Park. Brandon Bellinger trying to put away the 05 of Jeff Abold. Abold trying to get an advantage coming off the turn. Abold at the line. Can he get it done this time? They continue to battle out there. Up front, it's still Mike McVetta, Abold, and Bellinger neck and neck.
McVetta still your leader. Trent Stevens trying to track him down. Trent was fast after the restart. See if he still has the mustard. And battle for fourth. That is Jeff Abold now to the inside. And Brandon Bellinger to the outside. Jeff Abold is going to take that spot away. Move Abold up to the position number 4. Signal and file now throughout the track. Your leader, Mike McVetta, coming down the front stretch, crosses the start-finish line. 23 laps are in the books. Trent Stevens trying to chase him down. Kyle Edwards still running in that third position. Some good battle back throughout the track, but now your leader starting to encounter lap traffic already again. He's closing on the back of the 66 of LeVay. McVetta looks to the inside into turn number 3, and he takes over, puts LeVay down another lap. Your leader, Mike McVetta, into lap traffic now out of turn number 2. He's got a couple cars in front of him. We'll see if Trent Stevens can make up some ground in the next few laps as McVetta has to navigate through the slower lap traffic.
Mike McVetta continues to thread his way through traffic. There goes Trent Stevens by the number 66 of Lou LeVay. Next around will be Kyle Edwards. And now the 22 of McVetta. He's got 4 cars in front of him now as he creeps up on the Lasecki machine. He had caught up to him before when the caution came out. So you've got John Lasecki and the number 30 of Talon Stevens out there, Dave Hollowell in the 10. All those cars are in front of the 22 of Mike McVetta. McVetta getting around lap traffic now as they start to thread their way through the field. Trent Stevens trying to run him down. Then you've got the 05 of Jeff Abold in the 4th place spot, trying to catch up to the number 11 of Kyle Edwards. The laps continue to click by here. And Mike McVetta working his way through lap traffic. He's got 3 more in front of him as they come around to complete lap number 31. We're just about a third of the way home.
McVetta working on the back of the number 30 of Stevens. Ahead of him, it's a double O of Joe Gosick. And just in front of him, that is the number 10 of Dave Hallowell. The car's in front of your leader, McVetta. Now he gets by the 30 of Stevens. He's going to go to work on the back of the veteran of Gosick in a double 0. Here they come out of turn number 2. McVetta looks high, looks low. Into turn number 3, he's going to take the low lane. Out of turn number 4, McVetta on the inside of Gosick. And he'll move Gosick down a lap. Trent Stevens working through that same lap traffic, maybe not as quickly as McVetta. Trent Stevens now has 2 cars in front of him, side by side, Gosick and Stevens. Trent Stevens will have to get by these lap traffic to pull back in the 22 of McVetta. McVetta's got some open track in front of him. He's got a couple laps before he runs into the back of the 10 of Helliwell. Heavy lap traffic in front of Helliwell. Mike McVetta, clear track for now. 35 laps complete.
DJ Schulich pulls to the infield, gets onto the dirt. Schulich in the 95, and the caution flag will fly. Yellow, yellow, yellow. And maybe steal that spot from the Salisbury, North Carolina driver in the number 19. But sometimes these cars get a little finicky on restarts, and you don't always get the jump you want. They can be funny that way. Fuel injected, so the methanol gets pumped straight into the cylinders. Green flag this time for McVetta. A good start for Trent Stevens. And Stevens is in no danger of losing that second place spot. In fact, he was challenging McVetta there for the moment. Trent Stevens trying to sneak around onto the outside. We've got a battle for the lead. Trent Stevens trying to run down the number 22 of Mike McVetta. And on the outside, Kyle Edwards retakes third.
Kyle Edwards up to third. Jeff Abel back to fourth. Got a battle here in fifth between Mike Ordway and the 02 of Brandon Ballinger. Right now, Ordway on the inside trying to fight back. Ballinger stuck on the outside for that fifth position. Clean racetrack in front for our leader, Mike McVetta. We got a spinner over in turn number 3 and 4. And looks like the number 30 of Talon Stevens. Here we go, restart, lap 38. And McVetta's got a good start, and Stevens right behind him. Now he tucks in behind him. The driver, the number 19, will ride in that second position into turn number 3 and 4. Jeff Abel gets around Kyle Edwards for that third position. Edwards back to fourth, and Mike Ordway running in fifth in the number 61. He takes a peek to the outside of Kyle Edwards. Out of turn number 2, Edwards slams the door shut. Ordway still up on the outside of the track, trying to get around the driver of the 11E. Ordway side by side right now into turn number 1. Now he's going to power around on the outside, down the backstretch. Ordway up to position number 4. At the front of the field is still all Mike McVetta.
Mike Ordway Jr. is on the march. He has made it up to the number 4 spot. We know that car is fast. It's the track record holder at the Oswego Speedway, and he runs well in the ISMA circuit. Here comes Jeff Abel in the 05, trying to close the gap on the number 19 of Trent Stevens. Up front, all Mike McVetta, opening up a big lead right now as we start to approach the halfway point. Jeff Abel in the 05, slowly closing the gap on the number 19 of Trent Stevens. He gets a little closer through the turns, but Stevens has a bit of an advantage going down the straight. But I do think that Jeff Abel is starting to run him down. Abel in the 05 has pretty much caught the number 19 of Trent Stevens. And we're going to have a battle here in just a little bit for the number 2 spot. No problem, number 1, Mike McVetta way up front. But Jeff Abel is making a race of it in this third place spot in the 05.
Jeff Abel all over the 19 of Trent Stevens as he looks to move up to position number 2. Mike McVetta way out in front. Last lap in a 2.3 second lead. We'll see what it is at the time. Here comes Stevens in a 19. McVetta's up to 2.5 second lead as he encounters lap traffic already. Jeff Abel has cooled off a little bit, now riding in that third position. Still trying to get around the 19 of Stevens, can't quite find a way around. Mike Ordway running in that 4th position, and a few cars back to the 11 of Kyle Edwards. McVetta on the back of the 14 as he looks to put him a lap down. He's going to take a peek to the outside out of turn number 2, and McVetta goes by cleanly. Now he's going to set his sights on the 00 of Joe Gosick. We're getting close to halfway. Halfway now, 50 laps in, 50 remain for IMSA MSS Super Modifieds.
Mike McVetta continuing to work his way through lap traffic. He's been very smooth getting through. Coming up fast on the 00. When's the last time you saw Joe Gosick go down 2 laps? He's already been lapped once. There goes Mike McVetta by on the low side to get him for a second time. Abold is now running second. Jeff Abold in the 05 coming down the front stretch. And how close can he get to the number 22 of Mike McVetta? We got a car slowing going into turn number 3. And we may get ourselves a bit of a yellow here. We'll see what happens as that car is on the inside of the track. And it is yellow, yellow, yellow for the 88, A.J. Lasecki. They come around the turn, Mike McVetta, Jeff Abold running side by side. And McVetta jumps out to the early lead. Jeff Abold and Mike Ordway Jr. has taken over that 3rd place spot. And so the 61 is now going to set sail to see if he can reel in the 05 and the number 22. Stevens back to 4th. Brandon Bellinger running in the 5th place spot. And Mo Lilgy out there in the number 32 appears to be on the move on the outside line, the Clyde, Ohio driver. Putting in some fast laps. Kyle Edwards, unfortunately, is falling back a little bit. That car does not seem to be running like it was. Looks like he's going to lose another position out there. Unchanged up front as there's quite a gap now between positions 1 through 5. But ever since the start of this one, it has been all Mike McVetta.
Jeff Abold's doing his best to change that story. Jeff Abold up to the 2nd place, trying to run down Mike McVetta. We've got 56 laps in, 44 remain for Jeff Abold. Is his car coming to him? We'll see. Mike Ordway up to that 3rd position in number 61. Stevens back to 4th in a 19, and Bellinger riding in 5th in a the 02. Jeff Abold may just be starting to reel in Mike McVetta a little bit. He is behind now by about 7/10 of a second. We'll see what it is next time by. They'll run into lap traffic in a couple of laps. Jeff Abold looks like he's reeling in McVetta. Here they are at the stripe. The difference will be 0.75, so he maintained. Mike McVetta has a hard charging Jeff Abold behind him. 60 laps in the book this time by Jeff Abold trying to reel in your leader, Mike McVetta.
It is getting closer, and lap traffic is coming up. Jeff Abold, little by little by little, trying to reel in the 22 of Mike McVetta. Remember, though, that he started right beside him on this restart, so McVetta apparently does have the stronger car. And trying to save it for these last few laps to triumph here in the 100-lap John Burr Classic. The 61 of Mike Ordway Jr. and the 19 of Trent Stevens. Oh, we got a spinner over there. Dan Connors going right around, and right in the middle of the turn, we've got some smoke coming out of a car up here. Hellawell, it looks like, right up next to the wall. Is in the hands of Mike McVetta and Jeff Abold. They pick it up coming around the turn. And again, Mike McVetta gets a great start, but Jeff Abold might be gaining a little bit on that backstretch. Trent Stevens goes around the number 61 of Mike Ordway Jr. Stevens retakes there. Now here comes Ordway back on the low side. We've got a battle out there for the 3rd spot. Ordway wants it back. Trent Stevens got him on the restart. And Jeff Abold now trying to keep up with the number 22 of Mike McVetta. This is as close as anybody has been able to stay to McVetta all night long. Now McVetta starts to pull away again. He has had such a great car all night long. Jeff Abold trying to run him down, not quite able to do it. A little bit farther back to Stevens. Mike Ordway Jr. And Mo Lilgy has worked his way up to 5th. We'll see if Lilgy in the 32 can get any closer, but up front it is still Mike McVetta.
Jeff Abold doing his best trying to keep McVetta in his sights, but McVetta slowly but surely pulling away from the driver of the 05. Then they're about a quarter track back to the 19 of Trent Stevens. He's under a little bit of pressure now from the 61 of Mike Ordway Jr. as they come out of turn number 2. Ordway behind the 19 of Stevens. Mike McVetta starting to stretch it out now. Jeff Abold trying to keep it in his sights, but cannot do it. He's about 0.8 of a second behind as we get closer to lap number 70 here, moving on lap 69. McVetta is going to run into lap traffic in a matter of a couple laps. Jeff Abel trying to keep his distance. That might be his chance to get by the leader. McVetta been in charge since lap number 1. McVetta, the man to beat tonight at the Evans Mills Raceway Park. Going down the backstretch now, McVetta can see the slower cars in front of him. Jeff Abel starting to reel him in again. McVetta looking for his way around the slower lap traffic. Jeff Abel riding in third. Trent Stevens in third. Mike Ordway in fourth. And Mo Lilch in fifth.
Coming up on lap traffic one more time, Mike McVetta starting to close on A.J. Lasecki out there in the number 14. Closing fast now. As we have cars scattered all over the track, Mark Samet and Dave Danzer running side by side through turns 1 and 2. Danzer on the outside, Samet on the inside. And Mark Samet, as he has done in so many races, has decided to get faster as the race goes on. He's got a long way to go, but the car's running well. Both McVetta and Abel get around lap traffic. They've got 3 more in front of them now on the backstretch. We are getting into the closing laps now, 25 to go. It has turned into a regular Saturday night feature, even shorter than that. McVetta closing fast on the lap cars. Jeff Abel waiting for a chance to make a move. It's a ways back to Trent Stevens. Stevens has taken third from Mike Ordway Jr., and he is continuing to hang on to it. McVetta getting caught up behind the lap car a little bit. That's going to allow Jeff Abel to get closer. We got a battle here for the top spot. Here they come. McVetta trying to put Joe Gosick another lap down, and Jeff Abel right there by him. McVetta and Abel doing battle. Here they come around turns 3 and 4. McVetta to the inside. Joe Gosick way high for Abel, and Gosick continues to run hard. Oh, they got to get down low. We got a slow car up there on the high side. That's a number 30. Yellow, yellow, yellow.
The yellow comes out in lap number 78, 22 remain. That could have been Jeff Abel's best chance to get by Mike McVetta. McVetta struggling to get by the 00 of Joe Gosick. Almost going 3 wide up there in turn number 1 and 2. Abel way high out of the side of the groove. Held it down, but could not get by the leader, McVetta, in the 22. Abel, pace picks up quickly. Green flag is out. McVetta's going to lead the charge in turn number 1. Abel up on the outside. Here they come on a turn number 2. Down the backstretch. Jeff Abel to the outside. Through 3 and 4. McVetta holds him off on the inside. McVetta clears into turn number 1. Jeff Abel trying to stay within grasp. Coming to 80 laps complete. 20 remain. Jeff Abel and Mike McVetta at the front of this field. McVetta's going to have clean track for a few laps before they encounter slower lap traffic. Jeff Abel losing distance now to the 22 of McVetta. As they come out of turn number 4, McVetta clean track in front of him. Abel riding second, a good distance back to the 61 of Mike Ordway, the 19 of Stevens riding fourth, and Mo Lilji still in fifth. Mike McVetta can see it now. There's 82 laps complete, 18 remain. Here he comes out of turn 4. Mike McVetta, your leader. 82 laps in.
McVetta is now opening up some space between him and the second place runner, Jeff Abel. Abel has been good on long green flag runs, but right when those yellow flags come out, Mike McVetta seems to get the jump on the restart. Mike Ordway Jr. has retaken the 3rd place spot in the number 61. And Mo Lilji starting to put a little pressure on Trent Stevens. Lilji had backed up in the field, but now he's moving forward. And once again, we're going to start getting into some lap traffic. McVetta headed down the backstretch, headed into turn 3, going around the lap car. Jeff Abel right behind him as the number 14 of Lasecki goes one more lap down. Boy, they get awful close when they go by those lap cars. Put your heart right in your throat. You just hope they're not going to hit them. Jeff Abel looks to be creeping up a little closer again as they start to go through turns 1 and 2. Every time there's a lap car, it gets a little closer for Mike McVeigh and Jeff Abel. McVeigh continues to lead.
McVeigh, your pace setter, 12 laps remain. As he heads out of turn number 2, he sees a slower lap car, Joe Gosick in front of him. That may play a factor here in a couple laps. Jeff Abel trying to stay within striking distance of the 22. And a straightaway back to the 61 of Mike Ordway running in that 3rd position. Your leader down the backstretch into turn number 3 and 4. He can see the 00 of Gosick in front of him. Jeff Abel's got to make it happen now. Now's his chance. 10 laps remain. McVeigh track in the back of the 00 Joe Gosick. Here's Jeff Abel's opportunity. Can McVeigh get by cleanly in the 00? McVeigh working into turn number 3, trying to get around Joe Gosick. Jeff Abel starting to reel in McVeigh. Here we come. 8 laps remaining.
This is where it got close last time. They came up on Joe Gosick, and McVeigh starts to squirrel around a little bit. Here comes Jeff Abel as they come out of turn number 4. We got a battle. And it involves Joe Gosick, the lap car. He's fast enough that Mike McVeigh can't get by him, and Jeff Abel is right there. As we get into the closing laps of this one, Abel, there goes McVeigh to the low side. And Mike McVeigh makes the move that may have preserved this race for him. We are coming up on 5 laps to go for Mike McVeigh.
Mike McVeigh might have just made the most important pass of the race. 5 laps remain. He's going to close in on the 01. And Jeff Abel finally gets around the 00 of Joe Gosick. Here's your leader to turn number 3 and 4, coming to 4 remaining. Mike McVeigh trying to get around the 01. He's going to look to the inside. Jeff Abel within striking distance. We've got a couple cars in front of the 01. This may not be over yet, ladies and gentlemen. Here's Jeff Abel to the outside in turn number 3 and 4. Down the front stretch, Jeff Abel is there. And the 05, McVeigh looks to the inside of the 01. Abel up high out of turn number 2. Jeff Abel to the high side. He gets around McVeigh. Coming at 2 to go. Jeff Abel, the new race leader. 2 laps to go. Jeff Abel strikes. Mike McVeigh still pinned behind the 2 lap cars. Here comes Jeff Abel. He sees a white flag in the air. 1 lap remaining. The Burgundy Bullet. 1 more lap around the speedway. Jeff Abel, the veteran driver on Oswego. Half a lap to go. 2 turns. Here he comes. Through turns 3 and 4. Checker flag in the air. Jeff Abel picks up the win. Mike McVeigh will have to settle for 2nd. Mike Ordway will finish in 3rd. Trent Stevens brings it home in 4th. Mo Lilgy in 5th. Brandon Bellinger in 6th. Mike Lickley in 7th. Mark Samet in 8th. Dave Danzer in 9th. And Kyle Edwards brings it home in 10th. Tough break for Mike McVeigh, led 98 laps, all but the final 2. And it looks to be nothing official yet, but Mike McVeigh may be your series champion. Crunching numbers here. Jeff Abel, how about that? Evans Mills Raceway Park, 2 laps to go. Takes it to the high side, gets around the slower cars, and beats Mike McVeigh. Led only 2 laps of the features, but the one that counted the most, the final lap, lap number 100. Let's go down trackside with Keith there for our podium finishers and our winner, Jeff Abel.
Well, this is one of the disadvantages at Evans Mills Raceway Park at Oswego. You're on the infield, you watch them go all the way around. I'm going down the steps, and I'm hearing Jay get excited up there. And the lead change happened while I'm coming down the steps. But boy, everybody's excited down here for Jeff Abel in the 05. Very popular driver, always good. And you know what? I'm going to say it. He is our first quadruple crown driver in the ISMA Series. Here he comes, Jeff Abel. Boy, they're pouring out a pit lane fast. You're going to get run over down here. Pat Abel, his racing father, loving this one. I don't know that they celebrated this much when they won their first one at Oswego. Great to see down here. We'll get a word with Jeff when he comes around. Basically, what the drivers do now is they go through all 100 laps with each other before I get the interview. That's usually what happens. Jeff Abold, 2 laps to go, and you got around him. Tell us about it.
Great racing with Mike. We've had a couple races here just side by side. He's one of the cleanest drivers. You come out here with IMSA, and everybody just gives you such respect. It's great racing all around. So much fun. Everybody was worried with this track. Maybe it's too small, it's too tight. Are we going to be able to pass? We're able to pass. That was a show.
You started in the farthest back you could start on the redraw. Who was the gal that drew that number?
That's my niece, Kira. So I've been drawing 12s and terrible numbers, so I thought maybe my luck would change if she drew for me and she drew 12. But, you know, we looked at everybody, we talked about it, and we were pretty confident with what the car was and how it works at these tracks. So I was actually pretty excited to start back there and see if we could get it done.
What is it about short tracks that seems to fit you? You've dominated at Star, you've won at Sandusky, now you're in the victory lane here. Is it just to your liking, or how is that?
You know, it's just the setup of the car, everything. It goes back to my my days midget racing, and you know, some of the guys I actually saw some of my old midget companions in the stands here cheering us on. So, you know, it kind of just makes sense with these tracks. It feels great. I had never seen this track before we showed up here today, so it's an interesting place. I love it. It's instantly in my top 5 favorite tracks. But I just want to say too, we lost one of our crew members 2 years ago, Larry Farrell, who's got a lot of family up here. Major race family. He's a racer through and through. This is for him. He had to be riding around with me in this car tonight. He's got to be smiling down on us tonight. And this is, I'm just so happy to get the win for my guys, my family. I got to say happy birthday to my wife. Tonight is her birthday. So hopefully she's out celebrating everything there. But this is a family team, a family effort. It's a family win. You got a lot of fans here, Jeff. Enjoy your victory. Jeff Abold, your winner here. And like I say, the first quadruple team winner. Well, Mike McVetta, you maybe lost the battle but won the war, but what does this one feel like for you?
Was that a good show, fans? Did we put on a good show for you? That's all that matters. Thank you all. We appreciate you guys more than you know. If it weren't for you guys, we couldn't be here. But, man, we had a bad fast car for 98 laps. It was just getting them last 2. But I tell you what, hats off to these guys behind me. You know, this is a family operation. We do it all in-house, and I just couldn't do it without them. You know, we got some great sponsors with Eco Mechanical and Perfection Fabricators, Gary's Body Shop. I think there's probably some fourth-turn crazies out there somewhere in the stands. Yeah, just hats off to the team. You're right, we didn't get the battle, but we got the war. You seem to be a guy that smiles every time, no matter what happens out here. How much fun do you have in this car? How can you beat it? I don't think you can. Mike McVetta, a great driver and a great personality, and a real addition to any race where he runs. Mike Ordway Jr., you were moving toward the end. You were swapping positions back there. Did you ever think you had enough to get to the front, or were you just trying to hang on where you were?
No, I was starting 10th. You know, I knew it was pretty deep. Obviously, Jeffrey started a little further back than us, so, you know, hats off to those guys. He's, you know, he's one of the best in the business. Good friend of mine. But when I drove into 1 on the first lap and the thing cut better than I expected it to, I knew we were in for a long race. But, you know, just picked them off as we could and maintained. You know, I knew we didn't have nothing for the front 2. Once we got to 3rd there, and I knew if we were on the top on one of the restarts there at the end, we could roll the top, but we just weren't that good on the bottom. But, you know, thank you to Evans Mills Speedway for having us. You know, we hope to come back here, and thanks to all the fans for coming out, and everybody on this deal for, you know, for the whole year. Clyde and Susan Booth, Performance Engines by Billy the Kid, High Performance Lubricants, Strange Engineering, JRI Shocks. It takes a lot of partners to do this, and I appreciate it. Well, I tell you what, he's a track record holder at the Oswego Speedway, and he's on the podium here tonight at Evans Mills Raceway Park. Mike Ordway Jr. in the Clyde booth, number 61. I think his dad's here somewhere. Is that right? There he is, Mike Ordway Sr. How many times have we watched him? You know, you cost me a lot of money because I had you in the Classic one year, and then Mike Muldoon got by you with 5 laps to go, cost me $100. But that's all right. Good to see you. Mike Ordway Sr., a real champion. A lot of legendary race drivers and crew members down here. It is a wild party tonight. It's not that late. You folks can hang around as late as you want. It's been great to see you. If you need a little help getting home, let us know. We don't want anybody having any trouble on the way.
And we are just thrilled that you could join us here at Evans Mills Raceway Park for the Wicked Winged Fast Super Modifieds. 3 of the best right down here on the front straightaway.
You think I'm fucking good? I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Well, not quite. I got to pack up still.
Dude, I gotta do the same. I'm right there.